Howdy, folks. Thanks for coming out. There's a couple people in here right now. I just wanted to do this kind of not totally last minute, but I wanted to do this to say thank you so much to all of you guys and gals, grandmoms and moms and friends and brothers and sisters alike. This has been one of the coolest, outside of 2020 being a very odd year, this has been one of the coolest years. And not only because of this ride and at home with Mark and YouTube and all that, but it's been cool because I get to meet a lot of new people and make a lot of new friends. And a lot of you who subscribe to this channel and support this channel are becoming friends. And, in the spirit of friendship and everything, when this all started, so quick background story on this and how the channel began. I've had a YouTube account since probably 2008, when I was just trying to find, you know, videos of Derek Trucks. Basically, it was all about watching Derek Trucks in the beginning. Um, but I really didn't get super duper serious about posting videos and doing stuff until March, where I was trying to, get some and stuff up, kind of put my feet in the water and see what's going on. And my buddy Mike Palmisano, who you guys probably know from Guitargate, if you don't follow him, you should. He's at well over 200,000 subscribers now on YouTube, so he's been doing it for quite some time, about 8 years or so. But Mike is a friend, and he lives pretty close. We're at 20 minutes away from each other, and he was encouraging me to do this. And it really wasn't until COVID hit that I had the time to do it because I wasn't gigging, which this has been so great. And I kind of, to be completely honest, I mean, I miss gigging with my band and playing music with my band and recording and releasing original music. But this has been a lot of fun. And I would say that what I was saying before, about friendships, it's really kind of spawned a lot of new avenues and a lot of new, relationships. And I wanted to kind of start doing something in August. I think it was July, early July. I was like in the shower where I have most of my best ideas. And I was thinking about like ways to, like, no joke, I've written songs in the shower and like wrote the lyrics in the steam on the door. Um, and I had an idea of like, well, what could I do to do something cool? And I have this thing, this natural knack and this ability to like interview folks. And I've done a lot of stuff for my job with Berkeley where I've gotten to interview my heroes like Wayne Krantz and stuff. And I was like, I would love to do that. And why not have a show where it's just like me talking to my heroes, asking questions that we musicians would want to ask these cats, and just have a normal hang, like we were having a cup of coffee kind of thing. And I was like, well, there's one person I can think of that I know would be a great first guest, and that's Joey Landreth, who I have obviously have a relationship with. He played on my last record and all that. And throughout the time between March and then, and even before, I was kind of releasing videos, and people would subscribe and here and there and leave comments. But there was one cat who would always chime in, and eventually we kind of hooked up on Instagram as well, and other social media platforms. But you guys probably know Terry from Instagram and his amazing art that he does, amazing pictures that he takes of gear, pedals, and guitars and all that stuff. And he's got amazing content on Instagram. But we got to talking, and I told him about this idea, and he was like, "Hey, man, I do graphic design. I'd be happy to help. Kind of get this stuff off the ground." So we got to talking, and I didn't really think too much of it. I was like, well, yeah, we'll see what happens, kind of. And then like the next day, he had this amazing artwork, and I was like, holy crap, man! Like, perfect. This is exactly perfect. It's exactly where my mind would go with art. Like, I'm a very, very much so a minimalist when it comes to art, but I like slick, sleek designs, and Terry's all over that stuff, like in spades. So I wanted to bring him in here to kind of chat, and we can kind of talk a little bit about the origins of how this thing started and our relationship. So I'm going to bring him on into the stream right now. There you are, buddy.
What an intro. Like, I'm not a guitar hero by any stretch, but if I feel welcome here.
Dude, I mean, here's the thing. So, my description is accurate, right? Like you were on the channel and you would chime in and write stuff and always really positive, you know, material like on my videos, which I appreciated. Um, but like that's an accurate description of how our friendship has evolved, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a lot of the same gear. You're just a much better player than I
nah,
am.
I don't know about that. You're a great
That's
player.
kind of yeah, that's kind of how it started.
Yeah. And I mean, when I remember telling you about this idea, and we were like, all right, maybe I'll do one a month, and we'll start with Joey. And what was funny is like, so the Joey thing happened, and then I was like, oh, I really like doing this. This worked. This format worked really well. And then I just blasted a ton of people like, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And they all said yes. And then we were like, holy crap, we have to do two a week now. So, it's kind of, you know, done more than I thought it would,
Yeah.
you
I
know?
mean, what are we at now? Like 27, 28 people?
27 episodes this season. And yeah, I thought it would be six, you know,
So
at the most.
yeah, so you owe me big time now.
Yeah, I do. I do. I often say that though. It's like I didn't think about, I had no preconceived notions about this at all. It was 100. It's like the Matthew Sweet album. It was 100% fun, man.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to like fill a void where gigs were, and it didn't occur to me that people might resonate with it at all. And it's and I talk to a lot of people. I'm on the phone all day for work, so what I do for a living is talk. Um, so why not use that skill set in some fashion that's musical, besides singing, which I normally do when there's not COVID in the air. Um, but yeah, man, I mean, it's been such a blessing, man. Like I say this all the time to my guests because usually when we start these things, I'll have like 10 or 15 minutes with the guest before it starts, and we'll talk about, I'll kind of just like they do on any talk show. I'll prep them to like what we're gonna do and about the lightning round, so they're not like caught off guard by that. Because that some people will get scared at that stuff. I don't know. It's funny, but usually what we'll talk about is like how cathartic this has been for me to talk to people that I really look up to, and even like cats who were, I'm 41, man. Like Joey's younger than me. He's a young buck, but I look up to him because he's a great player,
Yeah.
and become a good friend, and all these other people like Josh Smith, man. Like he was the last one, and I couldn't have asked for a better last way to end this one.
This is a
You know,
superstar.
I mean, what I'm learning about this, what I really like about it is like I'm learning so much about people, and I'm learning so much about the grind that everybody goes through, regardless of what level you're at. Um, and just what can we take away from that as musicians?
That's why I like the format. Like this has been a blessing for me too. I find that, every week we seem to have somebody cool come on the show, somebody I respect and admire. And I find that, through all the negativity and the lockdowns and different situations, that this has been something to look forward to, and just, to talk about other stuff that we're passionate about. And I like your format, the way, you have this energy, and I think that's how our friendship started too, right? Like, I mean, you're just a cool dude that does amazing reviews, and you're down to earth and super approachable. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to want to help you out. And
Well, I mean, more than like it's helped a lot in terms of legitimizing our a thing that's going on, because it's hard, and I think that in this day and age, there's so many musicians that are home that can do it. So I'm like,
mm,
I might only have another 6 months until people start getting back to gigging, and then I'm not gonna be able to get their time anymore. So we got to get John Mayer before June.
yeah, that's the whole plan here, is to get John Mayer on.
And I'll tell you, man, I'm like this close to sending. I have an idea that I might have told you about what I want to do with him. but I don't want to do necessarily what I normally do with my other guests. I want to do
Send him a
something.
watch.
Yeah, right. I'll find like an old. I might have my old shark watch from like when I was a kid. And be like, hey, dude, I'll give you this shark watch if you come on my little
Yeah,
show.
or the
Um,
calculator watch from the 90s, right?
yeah, a little Casio. He probably would appreciate that. He's a year older than me, so we're like in that same bracket. But I have an idea that I think he would freaking love. I think he would like sign up to do it if I could get a message to him somehow. But yeah, man, I mean, I really appreciate what you've done to help out and make things look cool because I'm a dad. I'm not cool, and it made me look a lot cooler.
You're a cool dad, man. You're
uh,
you're up there.
well, thanks, buddy. Um, but what who so far this season, like what were your do you remember, do you have specific moments? Like I have moments that were like my favorites. Like do you have anything?
Tomo,
Yeah.
I find that that guy is just he exudes. He's just a fun. You want to watch his videos.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen the Tomo video, that's one of my favorites. Joey's always a good watch too. He's always so sincere, and
Mhm.
I love when the artists are going into like their more natural aspects of like their real life stuff. Like I don't want rehearsed answers, and that's something that's been cool about the format of your show.
Mhm.
So yeah, Joey, of course, Ariel Posen, who's a big kind of guitar hero of mine too. Um,
That
there's
was a
been a
fun
lot
one.
of cool people, and I've discovered new artists too, like Vava. She's really really talented.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so there's people like that who and Blur, he's another one too. It's just like these really cool people that I've you know would never have heard about before.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing too is I feel like there's a lot of musicians out there that maybe aren't floating in the circles that we float in. Like I had a few people like hit me up and say that they never had heard of Bernhoff before, and now they're like they bought all his records. They heard the one album that we were talking about. They listened to, and now they bought all their stuff. And like he's one of my absolute heroes, like absolute neo soul. Like you would never know that guy is from Norway. Like it's just like it's mind blowing, and that there's a couple moments from that episode that I still go back and watch just to laugh. Um, and that's the thing too is me, I'm like super lighthearted, so I try to keep everything very mellow and very much so. My goal is to not ask the same damn questions that everybody asks them when they're on the road. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think you've caught a few by surprise, and,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
and
know.
maybe through the lightning round too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I don't know. Some people might have watched some of your other videos, so they know what to expect. But
Mm-hmm.
I tune into a lot of interviews on YouTube, and yeah, not a lot of times would they expect a lightning round with tricky questions like what you do.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be silly. It's supposed to end the hang on a
Yeah,
good note. Just to like enjoy each other and like have a laugh at the end. Um but like, you know, I think what's been cool too is to talk to some of these manufacturers, like some of these builders. Maybe that's not interesting content. Yeah. Yeah, Emilio for sure. That's on the board below me right now. But like, Jesse from 29 Pedals, like not a lot of people knew what was going on with that Una at the time. And Joey hipped me to that. So I didn't know about it. But funny enough, Jesse, when I was talking to him, so he grew up in Philly, and next month in January, I'm gonna have this guy George Stanford on the show.
yeah,
I don't
nice.
think I don't did I tell you about him yet?
Not yet.
So he's going to be on towards the end of the month, and he's based in LA, and he's a songwriter, and he's done a lot of work for like film and TV, but he was in this band called Town Hall
Hmm.
that was based out of Philly. And my old band Tribe of Ben, like when we used to tour the East Coast and stuff, we would do we did a couple shows with them, but like they're right up the road, and I was a huge fan of theirs. Like Their album New Song is brilliant from start to finish. But those guys do the thing where, like, when they were on stage, they're not together anymore, but they would all rotate instruments. Everybody but the drummer. The
Oh,
drummer stayed
that's
behind,
cool.
and they played horns. So there'd be like trombone and trumpet on a tune. Then those guys would switch, and one guy would be playing bass, the other guy would be playing guitar, one guy would be playing percussion. They'd switch instruments again. Next song, it was like watching just like five insanely talented musicians play these songs that are just gorgeous. But he's gonna be on next month, and Jesse knows those cats. Like, he was like, "Yeah, I ran sound for those guys. I'm friends with Tim Sonfeld, who's like was the guitar player in that band, who's now also in LA." So it's like, what's cool about this is it's kind of like expanding the network of all these different people and exposing everyone to each other too.
Hmm.
Because it's fun to talk to cats like Bernhoft and be like, "You know Blue?" And he's like, "No," like, "Well, that cat, if you got to check him out, like his songwriting, if you like power pop and whatever." It's just cool to like, and Bernhoff is like exchanged emails with me afterwards. Like, we've talked about, like, he's like, "Send me those records that you were talking about." And so it's cool to make these relationships with these people that I've always looked up to.
And that's your strength too, right? To bring people together. And it's cool to me to see that, because to me this is how it works. I get the emails with the pictures of the different artists, and then Mark will hit me up and say, I have an interview lined up with Josh Smith. And then I get this email or text and my jaw drops, and then I have to do the artwork for it. So I mean, it's been cool to see the names come up, especially like people like Tomo. I mean, I understand that you work at Berkeley, but he's big in the guitar world, so
Oh yeah.
it's been a lot of fun, and for you to network like that and discover new gear, and have these people talk about them too, because that's the thing, is like we can get the little box and plug it in and see how it sounds, but it's really when you hear from the people who inspire those sounds, then they can tell you a little more about what their optimal use is for it, and how guys like Joey use it.
Yeah. And it's also, when I get to talk to these cats about the gear that they build and what their intention is behind it, it's cool for me to kind of wrap my head around the art of what they're doing,
Yeah.
outside of, cuz like with the Gladio, for instance, like there's two pedals this year, three pedals, I'll say. Three pedals that have blown my mind. Uh Emilio's Gladio from Cornerstone, Jesse's Una from 29 Pedals,
Hmm.
and the Chase Bliss Automaton.
Yeah.
Those are the three this year that I've bought personally that I've been like, holy crap. Like, and then to be able to talk to these dudes, and like I talked to Joel a little bit. I asked him if he'd be on the show, but I haven't heard from him. But
Yeah.
but like the intention behind with which, like, that they put this stuff together for us to be able to create music,
Hmm.
that's really interesting to me. That's that side of the story, that veil lifted off, I think, to me, is one of the most interesting things about talking to manufacturers. Like, I already have, so for next season, guys, already I'm booked into February. So we've got Gabe Dixon is going to be the first person on. He is Tedeschi Truck's keyboard player. My daughter is a huge fan. He has amazing solo music on his own, and I love his music. It's very gospel piano type stuff, which I'm huge into. Um, we've got Rod Washburn from Magnatone Amps. He's the GM of Magnatone Amps. He's going to be on. Jesse Davy from Kingtone is going to be on
Yes.
in February. George Stanford. And if you guys think of other people you would like to see on the show, please let me know, because there's people I don't know about that I would love to interview. We've tried to get Chris Buck, still working on that. If anybody knows Chris Buck, if you have an in with Chris, tell him we would love to talk. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be awesome. Like, between now and June, however long this train can go, as far as like the show is concerned, I'm gonna push it. If COVID ends and all these musicians are like, "Sorry, dude, I don't have time," that's fine. You know, got
Yeah.
it while we get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I
But
think it can keep going, man.
yeah, I think it could.
Yeah.
I still think I need to talk to Netflix about turning this into a show.
Yeah.
But
Where they start following you 24 hours a day?
who, Netflix? I
Yeah.
no, I my whole idea, and I don't know if I shouldn't put this out there, but my whole idea, it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever. My whole idea is to kind of do that Daryl's House thing, but have it be that, we bring the artist in, like somebody like Bernhoff.
Yeah.
Bring him in, do the interview, like sit in chairs, kind of like, David Letterman's new show, like sit in chairs, talk about the normal stuff I would talk about. And then when it's over, have my band be his backing band and play like 5 tunes, like of his music.
That's so
Um,
cool.
yeah. But they got to give me lots of money because I got to build a barn on some property. And it's funny. I talk to my wife about that all the time. I'm like, wouldn't that be rad? Like, and it would be rad. It's not going to happen, but it would be cool. So anyway, if anybody has any questions, whether that's gear, guitar, nerdery stuff, I can take some questions. I'm gonna play a couple songs, and then we'll just leave it open for Q&A. And this thing might go a full hour, it might not, but I'm just gonna play a couple songs. And Terry, thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks. It's my pleasure, man. Like I said, it's been a good ride for me too. It touches all my interests, and you're just a good dude. And I find that through all this, it really has been one of the silver linings for me. And
Cool, man.
and for me, it's work, but it's fun work, and it really ties into what I like and artists that I love. So thanks to you for having me. It's a privilege for me to do these artworks, right? So
Yeah, I
thanks
mean,
for having me, man.
of course, dude. Of course. I mean, like you're like a brother now, man. It's like, and I feel like my hope is that too. Some of these cats come to you and want you to do some artwork for some of these musicians. You know what I mean? Like, because you're talented and you need to be doing this stuff for other musicians too.
Man.
And you should probably so tell everybody, how can they find you on Instagram? Because you definitely, if you don't follow him, you've got to follow Terry on Instagram because his
Yeah, so
pictures
my
are
name is probably too hard to pronounce. So check it out through Mark's page, maybe.
yeah.
I'm a little bit everywhere. So um, we'll put a link in the bio to this YouTube. And I do pictures on Instagram, and I do some short demos for different gear. So yeah, that's where you can find me. And I do design work on the side. So you guys can send me direct messages or whatnot if you're interested in my work.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Dope. And you guys got to check him out. His stuff's great. He's got a great eye. His pictures are amazing. Um, One of the best graphic designers I've ever worked with, for sure.
Ah.
All right, buddy. I'm gonna play some songs. If anybody has any questions, anything you want to type in, there is a chat. Feel free to chat in there and yell at me if my volume is off, guitar wise and vocal wise. Doing my best with this setup today, but I'm currently plugged into the Chase Bliss Automatone for my overdrive. So, all right, Terry, buddy, you can hang
See
out,
you
or
later, man.
if you need to bounce, you can bounce. But thanks, bud.
Yeah, take care.
See you. All right, y'all. So yes, this is the Chase Bliss Automatone. It sounds pretty dope, right? So this is just the probably most overplayed song in the world, but I'm gonna play it anyway. Well, my friend, the Phoenix thing born to your duty. Keep trying to tell me, yeah, all you wanna do is use me, yeah. Is that better if I back off the mic? My answer, yeah. without all of you, mister. Anyhow, I won't spread the news. If it felt as good getting you, then just keep on using me until you use me. Till you use me up, baby. Until you use me up. Until you use me up, baby. Oh, well, my brother, well, yeah. Sit me right down, he talked to me. Well, baby, no one told me all now, yeah. Put it on, I'll let you just walk on me, yeah. But I'm showing that way, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, when the talk was through, brother, if you only knew, you wish you was in my shoes, but just keep on using me until you use me up. Until you use me up, baby. Till you use me up, well. Until you use me up. Well, my times, baby. I swear you really do abuse me. Well, get me in a crowd of high-class people, baby. Until you act real rude to me. I said, baby, 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 love, I can't get enough of it. But you use it too. It all depends on what you do. And too bad the way you're using me, and I'll shock out using you to do that thing you do. Do you do it, yeah? How's that guitar now? Is that any better for y'all? Talking about you using me, girl. All depends on what you do. Ain't too bad the way you use me, that I'm shocked how you do that thing again. You do that thing you do, yeah, baby. We'll do that thing you do, yeah. We'll do that thing you do, yeah. All right, all right, all right. All right, so apparently I just needed to turn the 2-rock up, and that's a cure-all. All right, here we go, guys. Guitar sounds like it's behind you, not direct vocals. Clean up front direct. I have a 57 on there, so I don't know what that's all about. All right, let me switch guitars. Boom. Boom boom. Nice little amp buzz there. You think I'm a professional, but I'm not sometimes. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm really excited about the Christmas season this year. You shouldn't be hearing it through the. You should be hearing it through the 57. That's strange. Interesting. That's so weird. All right, let's do some Beatles. I don't know if anybody else saw that Peter Jackson stuff today about that new Beatles documentary, but woo, that's gonna be the sauce. If you guys haven't seen the original Beatles Abbey Road documentary, that's one of the most depressing things you'll ever watch outside of the Muscle Shoals documentary, which Josh Smith and I actually just talked about last week. But what an inspirational documentary. If you haven't watched the Muscle Shoals documentary, I think it might still be on Amazon, possibly. I don't know, maybe. Check it out. That music is where the heart is, man. That is like the deepest, most soulful stuff. So for me, it is a number one. Anybody got any questions about, thoughts on this, on At Home with Mark in between songs here? Any questions about gear, stuff that I review, anything that you might want, you're curious about? Please write it in the chat. I'm obviously reading those because I appreciate my friends in here telling me, hey, buddy, your guitar sounds like Dookie. Not in a good way, like Green Day Dookie, but like Dookie. All right, here's some Beatles. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You only waited for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see where all your life. You are waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of a top black night. Is that guitar coming through better now? Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly into the light of the top black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings, learn to fly all your life. You only waiting for this moment to arrive. You only waiting for this moment to arrive. You only waiting for this moment. You only waiting for this moment to rise. Yeah. Alrighty. Couple covers there. Why not? Yeah, I don't know. This must be an issue with my interface, because I have the 57 plugged in, It's not facing the bathroom, it's facing the speaker. So that's progress, right? Anybody have any questions? Anything you guys anything about, at home with Mark, or anything with the gear demos or anything? Let's see that James got something cool here. Look what I can do, guys. This is how cool technology is. Hey, Mark, thanks for doing this series. You've had so many great guests and interesting talks with them. I really enjoyed everyone I watched. Thanks. Looking forward to more in the future. Thanks, James. Thank you so much for being part of the squad, first and foremost. I really appreciate you. Um, I think that the next season is only going to be better, man. On upward and onward, as they say. Anything else, guys? Oh, Andrew, yeah, I'm going straight into my Focusrite Claret 4 Pre. I don't know what is going on with it, but apparently it's not working well. Thoughts on Gladio versus Tomato? Man, you would think I'm on Chase Bliss's payroll, how much I love this thing, but I'm not. It's just so flippin' good. I mean, I have both. I have that whole song, that whole Blackbird. That was all Gladio. That was the left side of the Gladio that whole time. But I did just put another video, which should be the final video, I promise, in the Chase Bliss Automatone Tomato Tone adventures, and it was just all about fuzz, because the fuzz on this thing is so gnarly. Dang it! I wish my 57 was working better, because I want to turn this. Well, I'll just turn the fuzz on. So I hope that was loud enough, because it's loud as hell in here. um, the Automatone is no joke. I understand it's no joke on the wallet too, and I get that. I really seriously lucked out and got a ridiculously good price on this. That's the only reason I jumped on it. But I will say, if you can sell some stuff and you're really curious, you're not going to be upset that you bought it, and you're not going to be upset with the stuff that you sold. And I don't plan on selling any of my like fuzz pedals or anything like that. To like just replace the Chase Bliss to replace it. But man, it's really good. I mean, between like the overdrive pedal side of it, like, because there's, I mean, check this out. Okay, so if I just have it strictly just on the boost, that's off, that's on. So this is like my new favorite overdrive sound. Got sloppy hands tonight. But it's just it's so big. Like, everything about it is big. And that is the gain knob, gain fader is all the way down right now. This is just a boost, just a boost. Favorite pedal pre 2000. All right, so pre 2000, I didn't understand and didn't have the love of pedals pre 2000. I was still, I think, when at that time when Tribe was playing before 2000. So I in the year to Bumble. I was using maybe a tube screamer and a tuner. and that was it. I did not have a very complicated pedal board when I was a youngin. I maybe had my tube screamer, my wah pedal, and a tuner. And oh, I used to love the Boss tremolo. That thing was it's still dope. And there's an awesome mod you can actually get done on it. So don't sleep on that one because that's a good one too. I know 2020 has been a terrible year, but there have been some cool gear releases too. What are your favorite pieces of gear either released this year or that you played for the first time? James, first and foremost, the Chase Bliss Automatone. But I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and and you know what? We only have like 13 minutes left, so let me do this. I'm going to turn the amp off, and I'm going to show you guys some stuff. So, Chase Bliss, first and foremost, but what you guys know, which is this guy, prominently featured on my YouTube channel as of late, and it's become my favorite pedal in the past couple weeks. But the main three of this year that have totally twisted my brain. 29 pedals Una. This thing, if you have issues with signal loss, right? Anything on your board where there's tone suck, I didn't realize because I'm not running that much cable, but like this thing totally makes up for it. It makes it sound like you plug directly in your amp. This is like pro audio gear for your pedal board. It's amazing and it's pretty affordable. I think it's like $250, something like that. And there's just 3 dip switches. That's all it is. It just boosts the low end, the brilliance, and the harmonics. And the very first pedal that totally floored me, that got me on the journey, is this. Of this year. This sucker. Woo doggy. This one is like total butter. It's like butter. Um, I mean, it is totally a Dumble in a box. Now, granted, I'm playing through a 2-rock, and that 2-rock is its own Dumble thing. But if you don't know about this pedal and you're a guitarist and you want some like creamy, lovely tone that Jack Black would say you cream your jeans to, then get this. Because this thing was the first thing I got. And Terry, who was on earlier, is the one who told me about this. So I have every bit everything to kind of give to him as far as like respect and props on him telling me about it. It's the dopest, and it's 2 channels, so it's awesome. I bought a couple other things this year, but those are the main 3 things that have totally made my tone better and my life easier as a guitarist. I'm still thinking about getting some MIDI capable, like the Morningstar, to kind of control this sucker, so I can just make sure I have specific fuzzes dialed in and all that jazz. But yeah, that's the main ones. And my buddy Lee said Talkbox. Yes, I did have a Talkbox. Lee was in that band with me in Tribe of Ben, and I overused the heck out of that sucker. But it's all in good fun. That's what happens when you see Chuck Garvey from Mo using it, and you want to be Chuck Garvey. So yeah, that's the main stuff. I am next season of At Home with Mark, which bleep, I'm gonna have this back wall. It's gonna look different and it's gonna look super cool. I'm not gonna say what's gonna be on this wall, but the next time you see an At Home with Mark show, there will be some killer things on it. Um, any other questions, guys? Anything else? Anybody have any like favorite moments from this past season from different artists? Look, there's the dude from there's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I'm such a nerd. That's a bank and there's no money in it. um and I overused Lee said I overused a horrible Morley Wah. Yeah, that thing was bogus, dude. We didn't know what we were doing. There was no tone searching when you're just trying to survive. And there wasn't a big pedal market back then. Let's be honest. There was not a platinum age of gear like there is now. But yeah, so I really wanted to do this to say thank you to everybody who has supported this channel and subscribed and like told their friends and continue to do so. And like, I am literally 80 people away from 1,000 subscribers, and I could not have done that. Literally, could not have done that with all of you guys and everyone who has subscribed and enjoyed this channel. So, like, for real, from the bottom of my heart, like, this has been so fun, guys. It's been, you don't even understand. Like, I remember waking up on the morning that I was had Charlie Hunter on the show, and I was so nervous. And I don't get nervous when I do these interviews, guys, at all. Like, I really don't. I know that sounds like me blowing smoke, but I don't get nervous around famous people. It's just, it doesn't phase me that much. But what made me kind of realize I was onto something with this was waking up and feeling nervous about talking to Charlie, because it made me realize how appreciative I am of and the privilege that I have, in the position that I am to be able to do this and to talk to my heroes. Charlie Hunter has been in my guitar playing head for 25 years, something like that. Um, and I was genuinely nervous about talking to him because he is such a musicologist and way over my head intellectually, musically speaking, that um, I was just totally like taken aback at like the fact that he was going to be on my show. And when I got into it and we were talking, it just made me realize like he's just a dude like me. Like, he's trying to survive in this weird climate in the music industry that we're all dealing with right now, and it made me appreciate even more so to and like feel obligated to bring you guys this content, so all of these musicians, we can all kind of be in this together and know that, hey man, like, it's a grind. This industry is a grind. There's no sugarcoating that at all. And you have to kind of, as Wu-Tang Clan would say on the Dave Chappelle show, you got to diversify your portfolio. You got to figure out ways to be creative and make an impact. And I so love that you guys are kind of giving me that gift of bringing you this content, and that you're coming back and watching it. And I don't want to get all too gushy because I feel like I will, but like, I cannot wait for the next season. And I cannot wait to talk to Gabe Dixon, not only because I'm a huge fan, but because my 9-year-old daughter is a gigantic fan. And she's a fan because I am so passionate about music. And she heard it in my truck, literally driving to the doctor's office. I put the record on, and she consistently asks to listen to that album every time we get in the car. She's not totally bought in on Pearl Jam yet, but I hope she will be at one point. But she likes the funky gospel stuff, so I'm kind of okay with it. I'm kind of fine with it. So regardless, it's been one heck of a ride so far, and I cannot thank you guys enough. And a lot of my really good friends and close friends are in here right now, and you guys too, man. Like, I'm not gonna dad cry on you or anything, but like, you guys have all been so supportive of my career through the years, and whatever iteration it is, whether it's Tribe of Ben or Mark Hopkins Band or Mark Hopkins in the Hotel or Mark Hopkins in the Pretty War now. Um, you guys have always been there for me and have my back at every corner, and continually support me and continually come to shows when we can do shows, and that stuff it means more than $1 million. It really does. And I feel like this is only the beginning, man. Like, I have so many different ideas, um, about what I'd like to do with this channel. And not only bringing the gear reviews and the At Home with Mark, but there's a bunch of other stuff in the fire of ideas that I have to make this like an interesting, cool channel and worth your time. So thank you so much for making me part of your week when you check these videos out. Andrew wants to hear a song. I was about to say thong. Does anyone else do that? Tong? Like I'll say tongs instead of song. Like I don't know what that is. All right, let me get the guitar back. And I'm gonna do. Is there anything anybody specifically wants to hear? You don't have to have any specific requests. I just took my pedal board apart, Andrew. So give me a second. I gotta hook this stuff back up. Also, just an FYI, the 29 pedals Una is hilarious because on the back of the power source it says whatever because it's so badass that it can take whatever power you want. The more you know. Don't sue me, NBC. You said you want to cry, Andrew? Even if. All right, let's see here. Is that guitar any better? At all? Thanks for being patient with me. If anybody knows anybody at Universal Audio, I would love to get an X4. This Focusrite is crapping the bed, seriously. Time to man up, get some new gear. I say I remember when we used to sing in the government yard in Trenchtown. The hobo sound and the hypocrite, they would mingle with the good people and me. Good friends we have and good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past, baby. So dry your tears to see. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. No woman, no cry. I say I remember when we used to sing in the government yard in Trenchtown. And torchy would made a firelight. Love would keep on burning through the night. We would call me poison. which I'll share with you now. My fear is my only courage, baby. So I got to push on through. I'm gonna leave everything will be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. So woman, don't cry. Woman, don't cry. Little sister, don't shed no tears. No woman, don't cry. Oh, yes, folks. Next time I do one of these, I shall have some new microphones and some new ways to hear this crap because this Focusrite thing has got to go, bro. It's got to go. It's not working. You guys, thanks again so much for hanging out. Give yourselves a round of applause. And in the chat right now, I want to hear from every single one of you, Lennon or McCartney. Do it right now. Let's see. Who's going to be the first one to drop the Lennon or McCartney? Thank you so much. McCartney, Jared. We'll pop these. As soon as you guys put them in there, we'll pop them. All right. McCartney. Going for the races. Who's next on the wagon? George, but really McCartney. Yeah, it's got to be either or. I mean, it's funny when I've had guests on and they've been like George, because I get it. But the game is you got to choose. McCartney. Walter McCartney. I wish I had like a way to have more sound effects. That's the other thing I want to do for the show is use my controller to trigger funny sound effects like applause and whatnot. What about you, Jason? Lennon or McCartney, buddy? Y'all are my people. I mean, I love John Lennon, but McCartney is my buddy. Not in real life. I wish he was my real buddy. You want a bloody buddy? All right. No more takers. Well, I love y'all from the bottom of my heart for real. Thank you so much for hanging out. There we go. Let's just round it out there, McCartney. And if you guys have not checked, just get the Wings, the greatest hits double disc Wings album, because that stuff is so dope. That's the dopest. The music is the greatest. Check it out. There's so many good songs. So again, guys, thank you so much. 27 episodes, and to cap it off, a big old thank you and a big old yeah, Walter, it's so good, right? A big old fond adieu to y'all. So the first episode when we come back is going to be the first week of January. So I think it's like the 6th. Yeah, it's January 6th with Gabe Dixon. So you do not want to miss that. That dude that dude is, not only does he play his butt off with Tedeschi trucks on the keys, but like homeboy can sing and his songs are so beautiful. It's just, you don't want to miss him. And if you haven't check out the Gabe Dixon band record. Jono Ricks, who was on the show, who was in the Wood Brothers, he started off playing with Gabe back in the day. So Jono Ricks plays on that record, a couple records actually with Gabe. Anything that says like the Gabe Dixon band, I think that's Jono playing drums. So, yeah, happy New Year, guys. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful holiday season. Truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. And happy New Year. Stay healthy. Um, Come back and see me next time. I'm going to take a little break. I'll probably have a couple gear demos popping up over the next few weeks while I'm on break from work and stuff. I've got some fun stuff I was going to do. That's not the Chase Bliss Automaton. And let me know, like, constantly, like, let me know in those videos, what do you guys want to see? What gear do I need to get? If there's a pedal you want to see me demo, let me know, and I'm going to reach out to those companies and see if I can get artist discounts. So no, but for real, if there's like any kind of pedals that you are looking to hear, please let me know. I'm super open-minded in terms of trying new stuff and old stuff. So happy New Year, folks. Happy holidays. Love y'all. Take care of each other, and I'll see you next time.